I can tell.
I know a lot of things going on, so we want to really move forward, with our project. Need is urgent.
Yeah.
And Africa needs to help USA.
Oh, sure.
The table has turned around, now.
Africa need to help USA, eh?
Liberia needs to help USA, to come out of this mess. You see, the history repeats itself, okay?
Oh, yeah, that's so true.
Repeats itself. And I tell you something, okay? All the hard work which African did 100 years ago to build USA, okay? Now it is the time to rule USA. The time has come, really. I believe like that, okay? I believe in universal law of justice, okay?
Okay, that's true. I believe in that too as well.
Universal law of justice, and whatever inputs you do, okay, you have to get, you have to pay for it, and you get the reward. You get the reward. You see, if you do bad, you will get the reward. You have to. If you slap someone, somebody will come and slap you.
It's true.
That's a universal law. So I think it's just a matter of time, and it seems that whatever happened 100 years ago in USA, where I think Africans actually, there are two kinds of communities which built USA: Africans and Native Americans. Okay, these are the two people who worked very hard. Okay, they worked like slaves. Okay, they were slaved. They did all the hard work, and they built America. Okay, so they are the real people.
It's true.
They are the real people. Okay, and whoever did something wrong today, that wrong is haunting them.
It's true.
That is a universal law, So we have to do our part, and we make sure that and we slap them very hard on their face, okay, and tell them that okay, we can still rebuild America, okay, but now you will be slaving and we will be ruling.
It's true. That makes sense.
That's it. That's a model, and I think yes. So now, I think Africa has a hidden wealth. Okay, hidden wealth. Okay, we really don't need to Africa.
Hidden wealth.
Africa has the hidden, okay, wealth.
Yeah.
Okay, which is more than the whole EU and North America combined.
Yeah, we got a lot of resources. I mean, natural resources. I mean,
we have, right? So now,
just alone,
I'm just talking about one thing. Okay, I'm just talking about gold and diamond. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the same thing I'm saying.
Africa has enough gold and diamond, and without really taking the gold and diamond out of the mines, we can buy North America and Europe today.
It's true.
We can.
It's true.
I mean, that's a wealth. True. That's a wealth which is there, right? And with today's technology, you don't need to dig the gold out. You can estimate how much gold is available in each and every gold mine of Africa.
You can estimate? Is that
the technology is available. The technology is available. I have a Japanese technology. It will tell you how much gold is there at what depth.
Oh, wow.
And the technology is there. I mean, that's how the mining happens. Okay. We don't do mining in a in a conventional manner. We don't need to dig to find out how much gold we have. I can look at it from sky and tell you how much gold you have in which area.
I heard about that.
The technology is there. Yeah. That is there. I mean, so it's an old technology. I mean, the newer technology can do a lot of new things. Okay. That's why all these satellites are going on the sky, today.
Gotcha, yeah.
Those satellites will tell you exactly on every square inch how much wealth is available. And I think that's how these technologies being utilized. So these people, people who wants to capture Africa, they will capture that land, and you will be again working as slaves.
It's true.
That's what they want. That's what they do. Okay. So now the situation is this. Okay. Nothing in Africa is available for sale. Nothing in Africa is available for sale. Neither the people nor the land. Okay. That's my strategy. So idea is this. Okay. We do joint venture agreement with the true landowners. Okay. So they always benefit from, whatever work we do on their land. Either we grow food or, get the gold out, they will always benefit from it. Okay. So it's a joint venture agreement. That means that all the resources which belongs to all the miners and farmers, that resources is now in, we are buying all these resources from them. Okay. The land is there, the farm is there. We'll simply integrate our technologies and we will buy back everything from them and give them more money what they earned before COVID-19. Nobody would say no to that, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
that's it. So now, today I was talking to some of the big gold sellers, and actually you were mentioned. I mentioned you that you are the one person who needs that hospital, which we talked about, and we need to have a letter from your president. So I mentioned Liberia today, that we need one of those healthcare hospitals from Wuhan for Liberia. So the gentleman just told me that I think I will probably send you his message. He said, well, he just needs a letter from the president.
Yeah, but I was about to talk to you on that too, because the president does not deal directly with with any health related issue in Liberia. It goes to the Ministry of Health.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where it goes to. Okay. Idea is very simple. Okay. The Minister of Health goes to the president and gets the letter.
The Ministry of Health is responsible for that. So they are the one that wants to send the letter to the government.
Yeah, exactly.
The Ministry of Health want to send a letter to you guys.
Okay. Send that letter and I will send it to, this gentleman, Dr. Jerry. And I'll tell you what he said, okay? So you get actually directly what he's mentioning, okay? I will post that. No, I will post that in the Zoom. I will post that in the chat. Okay, let me post it, okay? I will post it in the chat so you can see it, what we are talking about.
Yeah, the Ministry of Health is asking a lot of questions as pertaining to this letter. What is the benefit? What is the benefit in it? Why would the Ministry of Health? The Ministry of Health remember, it's the government. They don't just send a letter to us like that. They want to find out,
yeah, I know.
The basic. They want to find out the basic. They want to be sure of what they are doing. It's nothing fraudulent. It's nothing that will bring harm. It's nothing that they're just trying to use the name of the government. It's not somebody just trying to go and take a letter from the government to go use it for their own personal gain. I mean, they have the policy. They have all the procedures, and they want to make sure everything is clear. So they're not just giving a letter or having a letter from the president like that. So, I mean, I have a couple of meetings now to meet with, the minister and a couple of people at the Ministry of Health, but they're going to ask me all these questions, and I got to be in a position to answer this question. And I really don't know how to answer these questions because, I'm not that clear on all these different questions because I've been having phone conversation with them, and these are some of the questions they've been asking me on the phone. So
okay, I think you have to really, I've just given you the, directly from this gentleman who is a PhD in law and representing this company in Wuhan, and he's running basically an NGO in Canada. Okay. And I tell you what his interest is, you just look at that situation. Okay. You get a $25 million hospital. Okay. You're getting how much? $25 million hospital. And the government, and that's why we are talking about government, not private sector. Okay. The government actually signs a $6 million contract with this NGO. Okay, to set up the hospital and maintain and operate the hospital.
The government going to sign a $6 million contract?
Yeah. So that's what the situation is. Okay. Now, what we are going to tell the government is this: the government accepts the hospital as a donation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can propose it to the government that Danetco, our company, okay,
Mm-hmm.
will operate the hospital, will install, set up, and operate the hospital. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
nothing, government doesn't have to pay anything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We, Danetco, will do the operation and we will transfer the $6 million to them. So basically what we are getting is $25 million hospital for $6 million.
So we, Danetco, will be responsible to transfer the $6 million to...
Yeah, we will do because it's a great deal. We are getting $25 million hospital for $6 million.
So that
Right?
that $6 million pay after running the hospital, after we run and maintain the hospital. That's how we going to raise the money to pay for the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. And I think idea is very simple. You know what this, I'll tell you what this Dr. Jaral wants to do. Okay, like every NGO does. All right.
Yeah.
Dr. Jaral is getting this donation, whatever arrangement he has, is a mandate for Chinese government. Okay. All right. He's a mandate for Chinese government. These hospitals are lying idle in China. Okay?
Yeah.
They're lying idle, right? Because now the COVID-19 is gone from China. Okay. So it's lying idle. So I think he has signed a contract with the Chinese government. Okay. And he is probably going to be sharing this $6 million with the Chinese government. Okay. So that the Chinese government can ship that hospital. Okay. To, to the particular location, set up everything. And then what they are looking for is to get the operational contract.
The operational contract?
Yeah. So they operate.
For they to operate, is that the Chinese government going to operate or the...
No. What I'm saying is this, that this gentleman, okay, Dr. Gerald, is making some money, maybe $1 million or so, okay, because he's going to be paying something like, say, $5 million to Chinese government, okay, to transport that hospital from Wuhan to the location, to the country, and probably he makes $1 million, okay, out of it. And then our job as Danetco, okay, either the government pays that money to this Wuhan Chinese government or to the consultant, the mandate. Okay, the money is going to go through the mandate, right? Through the NGO, right? So the money is going to go through that. Okay, now, so we sign a contract with this gentleman, Dr. Gerald, and Danetco. Okay, so Danetco is getting this hospital for the Liberia government, for our facility, and then Danetco will maintain it. And you can ask, you can maintain the whole thing. The maintenance contract comes to us, comes to your company, right? So we are making money also in maintenance and operation of the hospital. Okay. So this is
and how many pieces of those hospitals they're going to send?
How many? It's a 100-bed hospital.
100 beds hospital. So
100 bed.
But the mobile now, this is the
100-bed mobile hospital, which they have made in China, and I think I've sent all the details to you. In your email. I've sent already that details, right? Yeah. So you have it. You have the contact of Dr. Gerald, the the NGO which he has. So all the details are with you. So you can directly, your company, Danetco, can directly deal with Mr. Gerald and tell them that, okay, Dr. Mufaddal, introduced us to this project and we will be handling it. And then you work with your Ministry of Health.
It's better work with you because Dr. Gerald is acquainted with you, better. So, we're working, you and I working together as a team, as a partner. We have an MOU, we're going to have an MOU.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I can manage the whole thing, but obviously on the ground, we will be training all the engineers and everybody, in Liberia. And your company is going to be managing the whole show locally. I'm not going to be coming to Liberia to, manage the show. It's you who are in Liberia to manage it. You will be managing it.
Have you guys succeeded to have this installed in any other country, most especially Africa?
Well, I mean, the proposal was given to me by them that when you go through the NGO and his profile and everything, he's interested in giving the donation to those countries where the healthcare facility is not there. Okay, in most of the African countries, they don't have a good quality healthcare facility.
I know that.
To treat regular patients and to treat, COVID-19 is a more dramatic situation because, a lot of help is needed.
Yeah.
So, that's what they want to do. That's what they are doing. And I believe that Dr. Gerald is a social entrepreneur interested in making money for himself also. Okay, he doesn't do good work for free. He does it for money. Simple.
No, I got you.
Okay, like everybody else, He's not a gentleman like you and me who wants to do good deed, for the sake of good deed, without making money. It's like he's a typical NGO. And, when you raise $1, you give a donation of $1 to that NGO, he keeps 40% in his pocket and then gives 60% if there is no corruption to the cause.
Okay,
actually what happens is this, okay, in Africa, I tell you. Actually, 40%, 40 cents goes to him. Okay, 40 cents goes to the president of the country in his pocket, and 20 cents is spent on the cause. So your dollar gets distributed like that when an NGO comes and operates with your government, whether it's Bill Gates Foundation or anybody else. That's how it happens. So that's what, my message is to everybody is that I want to really do all the work corruption free. Okay, I don't deal with corrupt people. All right. And so anybody who wants to deal with me, they have to deal with me without any corruption, and I will help you out. I have all the capabilities of helping people out, and I will make sure that, the citizens of Africa do not suffer because of corrupt people. We will get the corrupt people out of system and put them where they belong. That's it.
Makes sense.
Very simple.
Makes sense.
No, it's very simple. And nowadays, people will not question this because the most powerful person in the world is, in the same boat today. Okay. President Trump is scared of, one black individual when the black man comes close to him, he's scared. He wants to just go to the bunker, to protect himself. You see, so he's the most powerful man in the world. So when the most powerful man in the world is scared, everybody else is more scared, they will be more scared. That if they don't do the right thing, if they don't come out of the corruption, then President Buhari and President Imran Khan and people like me and you will take care of them. Okay? Gotcha. He will not be the president anymore.
Okay. I think I'm understanding.
That is the whole plan. And I think without wasting any time, okay, we need to really move forward. I just had a meeting with Guillermo yesterday, and I told him that I'm very, very busy with my, Wheel of Life Farm School projects. And you should work with Mr. Tar to get that 100 kg or whatever quantity of gold you have in Liberia to Tokyo. So that the money is there, to do these healthcare projects, get the hospital, do the maintenance and do everything else. But you have to start someplace, right? I mean, we have done the discussion, we have signed the joint venture agreement and everything is done. Now, I mean, your assignment was to sell PGC, our, people's gold coin to every Liberian. You see, and yesterday, 2 days ago, actually, I had a meeting with a consultant in Uganda.
Yeah.
Yeah? And I think I probably shared that detail also with you. But
Yeah,
you've seen that, right? So
yes.
you know that what proposal we have given to them. I think that was a proposal, like, we had a meeting initially and we developed the whole plan for Liberia. In a similar
Mm-hmm.
way, we developed that plan for Uganda. Okay. It's a very straightforward kind of a plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all that money, everybody has one euro, or 1.1 UK pound, whatever that
Yeah, the issue.
translates to.
I want us to initiate one of the plan first.
Yeah, that's a plan. That's a plan.
Yeah.
Idea is very simple. Okay, the first plan is this.
Yeah.
Without, I tell you what the first plan is. Okay.
Yeah.
You need, what is the population of Liberia?
Liberia just about 4.5 million people. Small
Very
population.
small population, right? So about say 5 million people, right?
Yeah.
So now you need to make money with the gold you have, so that you have 5 million PGC in your pocket to give to Liberians. So when you are putting, 1 PGC in their pocket, okay, of Liberian, all of them would, everybody will know in Liberia, including your president and everybody, okay, who is this guy, man? He's putting money in Liberians' pocket. And he's not putting ordinary paper money, he's putting gold in their pocket. It's a small amount of 5 million, euros. And I think with your 100 kilogram gold, you can make that much money. Because simply the gold is coming from.
The 100 kilogram gold is not actually mine. It's not in my possession. It's in the possession of the local miners.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this, my friend. What I'm saying is this, that, okay, you have to sign a joint venture agreement with the local miners. The gold is not helping them out, are they? It's still there. It's not doing anything good for anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you are controlling the gold. And if you cannot do it yourself, then you can get the help from David, who is a gemologist, who does the same thing. He's also getting the gold from Sierra Leone, okay, which is very close to you. And he can get the gold from Sierra Leone, Liberia, and for all the neighboring countries, because he's a gemologist. He's a very famous man like yourself. Everybody trusts you, right?
Got you, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm looking for you as a person whom probably 5 million Liberian looks up to. Right? So they trust you. So when they trust you, you don't have any issues in signing the joint venture agreement with the miners, so that we can export their gold to Japan and then, make money from that gold, and that money will come back to Liberia for doing good work. That's what the plan is.
Yes, it sounds easy, but it's a challenge. It's a big job to do, because the convince.
Of course, I mean, the business, my friend, you have been teaching the whole world. Business is a challenge. You see, this gentleman who was a social entrepreneur and probably one of the richest men of the world, he died 2 days ago. Okay. He died 2 days ago. His name was Suleiman Raji, a very, very big empire in the world today, and in Saudi Arabia. Okay, he has the largest date farm, which he has donated for people to eat dates. Okay, and this in the Guinness Book of World Record. And his story was that he was a son of a very poor family, poor family. Okay, so he was going to a very local school, and one of the Lebanese, teacher, because everybody was going, for a picnic, all right? And the contribution for the picnic was 1 Saudi riyal. Okay, like every student had to contribute 1 Saudi riyal to go for a picnic.
Yeah.
Okay, and this gentleman, his parents, Suleiman Raji's parents, didn't have that 1 riyal. Okay, so he topped the class. He was a very good student. Okay, so he came first in the class, and this Lebanese teacher, okay, gave him 1 Saudi riyal
Uh-huh.
because he got the position in the class, right? So he was very
Uh-huh.
happy. He was very happy that he has got 1 riyal now to go to the picnic. All right. So he went to the picnic and, so he came to the, to his teacher and said, okay, I'm indebted to you and I need to return that debt to you, So he reminded him of that 1 riyal he gave him. And he said, well, whatever you need from me, you need a good house, you need car, you need whatever you need. Because that 1 riyal you gave me made my life. Okay. I'm a trillionaire today because of you. So tell me, what do you need? So, this is a story of a person who had nothing and he made everything because of his, good heart, dedication, and hard work.
It's true.
Okay. So that is what the case studies are. We learn from them. You mentioned Dangote and a lot of other Africans. One of the African farmer who got trained in New York lives in Ghana. Okay. He also came back. He doesn't live in Accra. He lives in a small village in Ghana. He got his master's from New York. He went back and he says, well, I don't want to live in New York, and get killed. Okay. Like all the people are getting killed, all the black people are getting killed, So he knew that.
Yeah.
So he graduated. He did exactly what I did, I finished my education. I came back to my home, He did the same thing. Okay. He went back to Ghana. He said, okay, I know a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things from USA. So what shall I do? And he started this company. Okay. And he said, okay, in his village, a lot of fruit farms are there. Okay. And a lot of the women were out of business. So he said, okay, I'm going to buy all the fruits, okay, from the farms. And he set it up a small facility in the village and no equipment, no machinery. He said, well, I like eating my fruit like this. Okay. So I clean my fruit, I put it in a plate, I make it cool so that I can enjoy the nice, cool fruit I used to enjoy in New York.
Yeah.
Okay. So he said, I'm going to make that over here. So he did that. He set up the whole unit. It was done as per ISO standard. Okay. And as per the health standard of food, and he started packing that and then started shipping it to Europe and North America. And it became the most popular product of Europe and North America. He's a millionaire today in Ghana. So these are the local stories. Okay, people who got the education from North America, they returned back to their country. He could have never been a millionaire by working in North America.
It's true.
But he became a millionaire. He became a millionaire in his homeland. So everything is doable in your home country. Why? Because you are very comfortable working with your own people. And you have 100% freedom in your country versus a foreign country. So it's just a matter of the example you are giving. Okay, what kind of entrepreneur you want to become? You want to become Dangote or you want to become, an ordinary small SME?
I know, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you gave the example, right?
Yeah, example in that lesson I posted.
In your last, message.
Yeah.
So I think idea, Mr. Tar is same. Don't worry about what you have or what you don't have. You target that I made a promise. If you work with me, you are a qualified person anyway, so I don't need to give you a degree. Maybe I'll give you a PhD degree, in management when you join my program, an academic program. But the target is this: in 53 months, if you work with me, you will be having at least 1 million PGC in your pocket. In 53 months, you should be earning that. And if you earn that much, that's where you get your PhD in management, in climate smart management. Okay, so that's a plan. That's what I'm offering to everybody, every graduate, every engineer, every professor, every professional out there. If they want to become a millionaire, come and join the club with 1 PGC.
So I was to start with this hospital, with this mobile hospital first. If we can be successful.
Doesn't really matter where you start with, but the idea is this: do whatever is closest to you. Okay,
Yeah.
if you feel that, okay, you have a good connection and you can go through your government and get that letter and process this hospital situation, that's available to you. You know, it's the ball is in
Sure.
your camp. I've shared every details with you. Now, if you
Okay.
believe that, you know, it's easier for you to work with the gold miners and you have 5 kilogram, 10 kilogram gold, not 100 kilogram, whatever you can acquire, you ship that to Japan and we start making money immediately. Okay. So you have to start working on those projects, and that's what I was
start working
expecting.
on. I actually haven't started working on the gold project because I have to go up to the villages, and the roads to the villages are very bad during this time of the year because it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
And we have no roads over there, so it's very bad. And I'm not in a good condition, right? Technically, I'm not too well. I'm using crutches.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get on the roads now. I can't even send people out there because the roads are
Roads
very
are not
deplorable.
good. Okay, all right.
Yeah, the roads are
Okay.
This is not the right time to go up to the villages.
Okay.
Yeah,
No problem.
What I'm working on right now, pertaining to the government issue in the city, with the Ministry of Health and the President to see how we can get this
sure.
mobile hospitals.
Do whatever you can. And
Yeah.
the idea is this, okay, because you have connections not in Liberia, but you have connections in UK and USA and everywhere. So idea is this, okay, that today we have gold in Hong Kong, and based on that gold we have available in Hong Kong, you have that the recent document also with you today, that you can sell blockchain gold to everyone. Okay, and there is a budget of 750 billion euro approved by European Union today. And with our blockchain gold, we can enhance that by 10%. So you can sell it to the government, you can sell it to North American government, you can sell it to EU governments, you can sell it to all the governments in Africa, because nobody puts 10% more money in your pocket. Okay, we can do that. And we have enough gold to sell it to everybody. Yeah.
Understandable.
That's it.
So did you just attachment when we started talking? Did you just send me some attachment?
Yeah, I just sent you the document, in the WhatsApp. That's a very recent document I prepared, and that has got the SPA and everything in it. So you share that document with your president and with everybody, and tell them that I am in the business of enhancing your wealth by 10%. Your national wealth, your personal wealth, by 10%. So that's it. You take care of your health, man, and you get out of the crutcher. What happened? Did you had an accident or something?
I had an accident, yeah. Okay. I had a motorcycle.
Oh, motorcycle accident. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dangerous vehicle, I know that.
I know, very dangerous.
So that's why you should be driving the four-wheeler and the electric four-wheeler.
I think so. I still want to ride a motorcycle anyway.
Okay.
All right.
So I think let's move forward, Lester, and see whatever you want to do, whatever you can do, and engage and mobilize everybody. The answer in your language and the message which I gave today in the last message which I recorded this morning, and probably we can record the I will send the recording of this meeting also today, that the message to everyone and to all the African government is very, very clear. Whatever your wealth today is, personal as well as your national wealth, our team, SAMS TQ Elma Global, can enhance it by 10% by converting it into gold. That's it. That's a message you give to everybody. And I think every intelligent person or person without any intelligence will say yes to it.
Thank you.
Right? So with that, we close, okay? With that, we close and we start making some money, okay?
All right, man.
So we can spend that money on everybody who needs it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay? All right.
That's a positive.
Take care of your health. Come out of your crutcher soon. And, then you should be driving a four-wheeler instead of two.
I know, eh? All right. All right, man.
Okay. All right. Take care.
All right. All the best. All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.